The movie starts off in 2026 with a group of miners looking for a dorsal plate of Godzilla in San Francisco. They aren't successful as a giant snake appears and eats 3 of the miners, and the mine fills with acidic sap. This grabs the attention of people trying to make bioweapons and some black market sellers. We then cut to Pensacola, Florida in 2030, where Mark Russell is finishing up his last project at a Monarch outpost. He goes home and Madison is watching the news about Godzilla's latest sighting in the Gulf of Mexico. They both go to bed, and we cut to Houston, Texas, where Godzilla surfaces. We cut to Hollow Earth, and we see a new character named John Fender warning Alan Jonah about Godzilla surfacing above them. They take an orca with them and accidentally activate it, causing Godzilla to shoot down at them. Madison wakes up and watches the news about the Houston incident last night. Mark takes off to work and is notified about last night. We are finally introduced to Alan Jonah as he lectures his co-workers about activating the orca. But their co-workers say that the project is almost complete. All they need to do is install the orca. They go to their headquarters where we see Gigan. A mechanic takes the orca and installs it. We are also notified that Gigan's body structure is based off of an ancient rodent skeleton. Sometime before the mining incident, Alan Jonah and his group raided the old Apex headquarters for the Neuralink device and Mechagodzilla's parts. And Alan puts that same device on and activates Gigan. We cut to the surface where it's revealed that the orca had effect on another Titan, Sekhmet. We see Godzilla fighting her for a brief second, and then we see a screen on a monitor of the USS Ares. They are discussing why Godzilla shot to Hollow Earth. They think he's after Kong again. They decide they'll ask their HE crew to investigate where he was shooting. We see Gigan again walking in the dark regions of Hollow Earth. A tiger-striped warbat appears and the people at headquarters say that's their target practice creature. Gigan just goes beast mode attacking the warbat and finishes by harpooning its wings and buzzsawing it in the stomach. We see a little girl with a Kong doll standing on a cliff. She runs away. Alan Jonah activates the orca and attempt to lure out Godzilla. They fly to the surface, which is London. Godzilla soon surfaces furiously. He roars at Gigan and Gigan roars back. He shoots I-beams at Godzilla, causing him to struggle to stand. Gigan and Godzilla charge at each other. They get into a short scuffle, and Gigan uses his buzzsaw and cuts Godzilla's arm. Godzilla decides he needs a strategy to defeat Gigan, not just a simple go in and break their limbs. Then the eco-terrorists have a visitor on their surface base. Ren Serizawa. They get into a conflict about each other's beliefs. Ren thinks they should kill Godzilla and rule the Titans and humanity. Jonah thinks they should kill Godzilla and release the Titans. Ren refuses the offer to join, but he's about to leave when he hears something ringing in his head. And Ren says that he'll join only if they kill Godzilla, then he's through. Jonah says yes, and they work on modifying Gigan. We then cut back to Pensacola, where Mark asks Madison to come with him to Hokkaido, Japan because of work. Madison says she wants to stay in Florida. Mark is then airlifted to Japan, where we see Dora Campbell, Sam Coleman, and Eileen Chen. They are analyzing Gigan through pictures they found on the internet, and they find out that he can be destroyed by hot substances. We see Alan Jonah finishing up the modifications, and he goes to San Francisco with a water tower. He dumps the water tower on a giant plant. It pulls up its head, and it's actually Biollante. It's revealed that the Muto made Godzilla bleed on a bush of roses. That essentially makes Biollante Godzilla's daughter. They strip Biollante of her roots and take her to Tokyo. Madison hears about this and tells her dad to send an Osprey to pick her up. Mark sends an Osprey and Madison gets airlifted to Hokkaido. Biollante was previously sedated, wakes up, and starts destroying the transport ship from the inside. Biollante gets dropped in Tokyo Bay. Gigan soon comes down from the ship and releases a loud scream and starts his orca in order to lure out Godzilla. Godzilla surfaces and roars at Gigan. Gigan stops the signal and charges at Godzilla. Godzilla and Gigan get into a short scuffle. Godzilla throws Gigan in the water and he short-circuits. John Fender manages to get Alan Jonah away from the Neuralink and Gigan sinks to the bottom of the sea. That's when Godzilla notices Biollante. She roars at her donor and Godzilla roars back. Godzilla charges at Biollante and Biollante shoots out venomous spores in her vines. Godzilla reaches Biollante and they start fighting. Mark gets redirected to Tokyo and tells Madison he's going to Tokyo. Biollante throws Godzilla at a building. Godzilla shoots atomic breath at Godzilla's nucleus, causing her nucleus to almost explode. Mark and Madison both land at Outpost 89 and try to help Godzilla. Biollante soon gains the upper hand and pins Godzilla to the ground. Godzilla calls for help as Biollante bites Godzilla's neck and drinks his blood. Godzilla's call gets a response as Outpost 36, Mount Taviuni, becomes active, and Rodan starts rising. The containment crew tries to hold him down, but Rodan roars almost as if to say, "Back off, King's orders." The volcano then starts erupting, and Rodan flies out towards Tokyo. Eileen looks at Godzilla's vitals, and he's rapidly losing blood. Biollante starts mutating and grows arms, legs, dorsal fins, and a tail. She even develops her own atomic breath. She examines her newly created limbs and starts laughing at Godzilla. Alan Jonah says things may not be going as planned or be in our control, but it's all leading in the right direction. But as Biollante shoots her atomic breath at the city, Godzilla can sense that Rodan is getting close and lightly calls for him. Rodan bursts through the smoke and attacks Biollante. Rodan flies up high in the sky and Biollante shoots atomic breath and Rodan dodges. Mark asks Dora if there's anything they can do to save Godzilla. Madison remembers what Mark worked on the night of Houston, Texas. An automatic radiation booster. Mark says how Godzilla needs blood, not radiation. Madison says that they could modify it. They don't know how they could get that much blood into Godzilla, let alone find blood that bonds with Godzilla. Madison suggests using Godzilla's own blood and points at Biollante, who throws Rodan at the Capitol building. Dora states how impossible it would be to extract a sample of Biollante's blood. We then cut back to Rodan versus Biollante as Rodan pounces on Biollante and attacking her vines. Biollante shoots atomic breath and Rodan flies off. Rodan flies back down and scratches her with his talons. Biollante screams in pain and bites Rodan with her vines, and Biollante throws Rodan at Godzilla, but Rodan swoops upward, only giving a minor pinch on Godzilla's leg. Rodan's attack the vines and scratch strategy keeps going, and they decide that while Biollante is distracted, they will take 30 gallons of Biollante's blood to help Godzilla. Alan Jonah sends the Air Force after Rodan for foiling his plan. Jets and helicopters shoot at Rodan, and Rodan effortlessly destroys the Air Force. Rodan notices the heave coming towards them, and Rodan starts scraping Biollante to distract her while they take the blood. Soon they take her blood and put it in the ARB. They put the ARB in Godzilla's leg and they activate it. 4 giant needles go into Godzilla and they give him blood, but they also give him radiation. Godzilla stands up and he pulses in energy and roars in half pain, half power. Godzilla once again charges at Biollante and Rodan sneak attacks Biollante from behind and sets her vines on fire. Godzilla shoots red atomic breath at Biollante, causing her stomach to burn. Rodan and Godzilla tag team Biollante, and Alan Jonah leaves the scene with Ren. A bit of debris falls on Ren and he now needs an eye patch. Godzilla finally kills Biollante by shooting his breath down her throat and her nucleus explodes. Godzilla bends down and meets Madison face to face for the first time. Madison says thank you to Godzilla. Godzilla then turns around and shoots his atomic breath at the sky and tears the radiation device out of his leg. He swims out into the moonlight. Ren sees Godzilla on the screen of the terrorist base. He stares at the screen with his one eye and starts remembering things he knows he didn't experience. He suddenly hears a loud screech in his head. He now knows he's sharing his body with something else. Something sinister.